pledge allegiance to the flag
to the
of the
flag
United States of America,
States of
and to the
America,
republic
to the
for which it
republic
stands,
for which it
one
stands,
nation, under God,
God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty and
with
justice for
liberty
all.
and justice for all.
Got a full house. I'd like to welcome you this evening. We have some special things going on. We had no public delegation or comments, so we'll jump right into our recognitions. Our West Virginia GSA Perfect Writing Score for the 24-25 school year, and that's Miss Dooley.
Hi, thank you guys, and welcome to all the parents that are here this evening. I hope you like our fireworks that we have, and this is in celebration of our students who scored perfect on the WVGSA writing portion of the exam. As I go through these students and their names, I'm going to tell you how many kids in West Virginia scored a perfect score on each of the grade levels. And so when you hear these numbers, you're going to be astounded. And this is something that you should be very proud of your children of. We had 17 students, and that's a lot. And we're very proud of them as well. So whenever we call your name, if you can come on up here and have a picture made, and we'd like to put these on our website, please, okay? So we're going to start with fourth grade. And this student was in the fourth grade last year, so of course these kids are in the fifth grade. She scored a perfect narrative essay, and there were only 86 students in West Virginia, and there were 16,524 that took the test. And this is Reagan Neal. If Reagan is here. Okay. We'll say, oh, Reagan's here. All right, Reagan and your mom and dad, come on up. Present that to her, please.
All right, come right here and get your mom there. I didn't know this was your dad. You claiming him? There you go. I'll hold you, buddy.
Mercy, mercy.
You and I are going to go on the internet together.
Great job, young lady. Great job.
All right.
Your mom will be. You did all your own?
Great job, great job.
Good, man. Oh, yeah. I'll leave that off the records, Coach.
We're on the record no matter what you say.
The next student we'd like to recognize is a fifth grader from New River Intermediate. She's in the sixth grade this year. Her name is Rihanna Rakes. There were 188 students in West Virginia that got a perfect score, and there were 15,407 who tested. So great job, Rihanna. Mr. Chris.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You get to take a picture with us.
Mom, do you want to come up too? Okay, you sure?
He's new. She worked hard for that one.
All right.
Good job.
Good job.
You did it.
I got it.
Okay, you got your mom. Thank you. It's right.
So the next group of students, there's no particular order, okay? They're just all kids that were in the sixth grade last year that are seventh graders now. And the first one I have is Joey Catalano from Fayetteville. We had 250 students score perfect out of 17,371 who tested. So he's one of 250.
Wow.
Is Joey here? Oh, this is great. He's got his whole family.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic.
What are you guys doing?
All right.
Get on in there.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Our next is Jessica Hill, Fayetteville. 250 students received this score and 17,371 who took this test. So Jessica.
That is fantastic. Good job, Jessica.
Good job. Congratulations.
We have another student from Fayetteville, Briella Meadows, and there were 250 students who took the test that scored a perfect out of 17,371. So this is Briella.
Wait, you got some more. Wait.
Ah, we got
You
more.
gotta stand up there longer, kid.
Come on.
You got an entourage out there. Got it. Which camera do we look at?
Our final sixth grader is Jacob Coleman from Midland Trail. 250 students scored perfect out of 17,371. All right.
Great job. I like the shoes, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations.
The next group are students that were seventh graders last year who are now current eighth graders. Before I go on, please understand that there are 3 different writing tests that the children take. So when I say 17,000, that's a third of the West Virginia children in that grade level. So you can have 17,000 in narrative. You may have 17,000 in opinion, 17,000 in argumentative. There's a whole different array of essays that they could answer in. All of our students got narrative except for one, and we'll talk about him at the end. So again, we're back to our seventh graders who are now eighth grade. And our first one that we're going to recognize is Fayetteville PK8, Chloe Robinson. 214 got a perfect score out of 17,196 who took the test. She may not be here. Okay, all right, thank you. Our next student is from Oak Hill Middle, Breslin Farley. And we had 214 students who got a perfect score out of 17,196 who tested. All right. All right.
Good job.
Great job.
I yang, she yang.
Our next student is another Oak Hill Middle student, Riley Floyd. 214 students received a perfect score out of 17,196 who tested. Riley Floyd. And we have another Oak Hill Middle student, Megan McClung. We have 214 students received a perfect score out of 17,196 who tested. Megan.
Good job, man.
All right. Our next student, who was the 7th grade, and this is our final 7th grader, who's now 8th grade, Oak Hill Middle, Gabriella Frazee. And there were 214 students who got this perfect score out of 17,196 students. Our students who are now 8th graders, well, they're 9th graders now, and they were 8th graders when we took the test. And we have our first, in no particular order, again, is Ella Redden from Meadow Bridge. We have 189 students who got perfect out of 17,477. We have a Meadow Bridge crew that needs to come up here too. Come on up.
Please.
Yeah, Meadow Bridge crew on up. Yeah. Because she has her English writing teacher with her.
Nice.
Yeah, so,
Come on out.
yeah.
He has wide angle wings, don't worry about it. Not a problem. Yeah, jump in here. You good? Yeah. All right.
It is.
He gets them all.
Our next student is from Midland Trail, and this is Luke Martin. We have 189 that got a perfect score out of 17,477. Luke Martin, Midland Trail. We have another Midland Trail student, Abigail Yates. 189 students with a perfect score, 17,477 who tested. Is Abigail Yates. Okay. We have an Oak Hill Middle student, Zoe Williamson. She was one of 189 that got a perfect score out of 17,477 who tested. And our final 8th grader, who is now a 9th grader, is Christabella Bournois from Valley PK8. We have 189 that got a perfect out of 17,477 who tested. And our final student that we're going to talk about is an 8th grader, and this child wrote an argumentative essay. There were only 6 perfect scores in West Virginia. 17,477 took this test. So we have 1 of 6 of the perfect scores, and that is Matthew Lucas, Midland Trail. Yeah, let's have all of our winners.
All the winners come back up. Perfect scores. You'll be a perfect. You and I, how about you and I stay out of this and let them do it? We'll just get all the kids. Yeah, I'll just be. Hey, guys.
Come on up here.
We'll just
Yeah.
have you guys stay, we'll stay out of your picture this time, just all the kids, okay?
Make it pretty this time.
Yeah, make it pretty, okay?
There you go.
Good job.
Unless your parents probably want to get a picture of all of you. Can you get them all in there, Bob?
Oh, yeah, easy.
All right. Everybody got their name right side up? Not upside down?
Everybody sees. She'll make sure all the heads are. All right.
Way to go, guys. Guys, look good.
We had significant growth in our ELA scores as a county this year, and writing is a very large part of our English score. So these students made a huge impact for Fayette County Schools with our schools scores and the county scores. So great job, you guys. We look forward to these perfect scores again next year.
Thank you, Ms. Dooley. To our parents, we
Yes,
thank you for all you do to make sure your children are in school and working hard. And it takes place at home to begin with, then we help you with it. And that's what we're for. Good job. We're very proud of you. And your parents and students, you're welcome to stay. or you can feel free to leave as we get into the other business now. It's up to you.
Maybe they should go to Dairy Queen or something now. Celebrate. I had to say it, didn't I?
We'll wait a few minutes if you want, if you want the bar, you're gonna be fine.
I said the magic word. I think I set some off. They're ready now. She's cute.
She wasn't looking.
Well, Dairy Queen for them, not you. Look how many left for Jason's presentation.
Took the pressure off.
You know what? That's impressive. That's a lot of students. That's impressive. That is
Perfect score.
Very impressive. That was very impressive.
I was glad to see, but we had to get chairs. That's great. That last student though,
You
one
don't
of
need a break
6
right now?
or 7, was it?
You break, Amy? You okay? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
We're good.
Okay, we'll
Whatever.
go ahead and resume our meeting. Again, we'd like to congratulate our kids and all the hard work they did to succeed, and we're very proud of them. And at this time, we're going to have a presentation from our SESC Executive Director concerning our virtual school. Mr. Butcher.
While he's getting it out, Mr. Vice President, while he's setting up, I'll run interference. He's also going to talk a little bit about Board of Ed policies, because I know him and, I know you're kind of jumping in here, so he's going to just touch on that a little bit with him and Howard O'Call as well, so.
He's got 2 minutes for his whole presentation.
2 minutes? Okay.
Hey, Coach Ray, I want to say one thing. Thank you all, board. Thank you all for having me. It's good to see you again. Good to see you. It's good to see you again. I know how you like presentations in person, and it was real hard for me not to ask Superintendent Warble to send me a Teams link so I could show up on your screen up here.
You did, you've been in problem.
But I came here for you, and I thank you all for having
Came
me.
here for these folks, thank you.
I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. It's going to come off potentially like a sales pitch, and in a way it is, but in the other way it's not. I believe in what I'm getting ready to talk about with you all. And we're going to start with virtual school, and then we'll go into the policies and procedures, but I'm going to kind of hold back on some of the policy and procedure stuff because I think you are going to be talking about that a little bit next week when you're at School Board Association. So first thing I want to say is I thank Fayette County for participating in our virtual school program. I feel like we have the best virtual school program in the United States of America. And I'll say that in front of anyone, and I'll compare with anyone. What sets us apart from other virtual schools and even some charter schools is that we provide live instruction. We have class periods 5 days a week with a live West Virginia certified teacher, certified in the state of West Virginia as well as in the content area that they teach. When we have substitutes, our substitutes are always content area certified. I think the one thing that we see in the virtual school that is a little easier than in brick and mortar is when we have substitutes. In the virtual setting, it's easy for the teachers to communicate, we were doing this yesterday, we need to do this tomorrow. That's not always the easiest case in brick and mortar because some of these substitutes are getting a call at 5:30 in the morning saying, hey, we need you down at Valley. And then you get there and then it's all kinds of other chaos may be going on and the communication doesn't happen. But live teachers is what sets us apart. If you'll remember whenever virtual school became a thing really in 2020 for most of us, the State Department of Education was quick to say we do not suggest virtual education for anyone in the K through 3. After 4 years of working with the State Department and showing them what our program's like, if you look at the direction from the State Department of Education starting about 3 months ago, you'll see that they now do suggest that you can do K-3 instruction, however, not asynchronous, meaning West Virginia Learns. Here's your stuff, see you in 9 weeks. They said, we're good with what you're doing. We can't say SESC in our direction. We can't say proximity learning in our direction, but we can say we will recommend programs for K through 3 if they are synchronous learning with a certified teacher. One thing that we have seen are counties that do not let their younger students participate in a virtual school program is those kids leave. And when they leave in kindergarten, they do not come back. Last year, you all lost over $500,000 to the two virtual charter schools, or the two charter schools. Over 500 grand. That doesn't take into account what you lost on your homeschool. Whenever you do not allow these young kids to participate, and parents these days are pretty set on what they want their kids to have, and if they want their kid in a virtual setting for whatever reason, they're going to find that virtual setting. Well, when you don't allow the young kids to come in, they get scooped up by these other schools, and you never see the funding again. When we went to the State Department, we brought this up. I'm sure a lot of you have met what I call my counterpart, Ken Lester, who works the sales guy. And I hate to call him sales guy because he's way more than a sales guy. But we started coming up with these figures. Now, you all shouldn't feel too bad because there are counties that lost millions, with an S, of dollars to the other charter schools. So we took this information to the State Department of Education. The State Department of Education sat on our classes. We opened up the classrooms so that people from the State Department could sit there and see what was being taught, which I was fine with because in our virtual school it's a little bit different. When you go to a brick and mortar school, there's not a parent sitting in the classroom. However, whenever you're in the virtual setting, most of the time there is a parent there. So our teachers really have to tread the line on a lot of things because they need to provide education, but they got to do it in a way such that the parents don't call me saying, what are you teaching our kids? So we go to them, we show them, they sit in on it, they saw what we had, and they're like, you know what, we're going to change our direction on this. We do see the numbers that you are presenting us with how many millions of dollars are being lost to these. And whenever you lose $500,000 in 1 year, how many teachers does that equate to? Right? And then you get even further, how many teachers are you losing? How many teachers are you moving? What rapport does that disrupt if someone gets ripped here and transferred here? There's a lot of different things that come into play there. So what we did was we worked very diligently to get our price down to $1,950 a kid. All right, that's $300 more than what you're going to pay for West Virginia Learns, except West Virginia Learns does not have a certified teacher sitting in front of a kid 5 days a week providing instruction. The other thing that we're able to do a lot is, you've got the progression scale. We're able to keep onto the progression scale because we have that continuation of teachers. And I'm not taking shots at teachers or anything like that. I know things come up. It's just there's the way for us to keep people in the classroom virtually to provide instruction that you all don't have. And it's not just Fayette County, it's all over the United States of America. I mean, there's companies making millions of dollars every year providing subs to school systems. So we don't have that. We've got teachers who are there every day. They provide instruction to these kids. They create relationships with these kids. And if you would take the teachers away from some of these kids, I mean, we would hear about it for months. So what I'm here today to say is we work to get the price down. We now have K through 5, which gets 4 cores, health and PE. That's what's required for your K through 5. 6 through 12, you're getting 4 cores and 2 electives. This would be West Virginia, like 8th grade, you're still getting your West Virginia history, you're still getting your personal finance in 11th grade. Those would be counted as one of the electives. Now, we used to have a huge catalogs of electives that we could provide these kids. However, whenever we were dialing down the price so that we could be competitive, because we know a lot of the funds that we had 4 years ago are no longer available. So we knew we had to get it down so that we could contend with West Virginia Virtual School. So $19.50 a kid, K-12, you get 4 cores, health PE for K through 5, 6 through 12 gets 4 cores, 2 electives. And there's also the virtual staffing, which you all have been a part of for years, for which middle school, we're sending to 2 middle schools, we're sending a Spanish teacher. Virtual staffing is we can't find a Spanish teacher. I'm sure that it would be tough for most subs to teach Spanish. So what we do is we have a teacher that's piped into the classroom, and they provide instruction for the middle schools. That's called virtual staffing. The other thing we do are called one-offs. And Richwood High School did a wonderful job with one-offs. They wanted sign language. Well, unless you're up near Romney or somewhere near Charleston, it's going to be tough for you to find a sign language teacher. Well, they didn't want one piped in. We were able to cut their cost, and we had a sign language class in the virtual school. So Richwood fixed their bell schedule to coincide with our bell schedule, and they took kids in a classroom and just turned on our virtual school classroom, and that is $500 per kid per year. So those are the 3 things that we have with the proximity learning, SCSC, virtual school. Superintendent Warble is well of this. Whenever he was in Summers County, we worked almost all of 2000, 2001 putting this virtual school together. The options that are there provide for a lot of different things that you can do in the schools. There's a lot of different ways to pay for that, which is getting down into the weeds. But I'm here today to say the only way that you are going to be able to stop some of this bleeding with $500,000 is if you look at including K through 3 on your virtual, because you're going to continue losing these kids to these other options. And if you don't think they're going to come for your kids, last year we went to Clay County. I'm from Clay. And if you've ever been to Clay, you drive down into the bottom and there's a school, and you drive out the other side and up towards Clay. Well, as soon as you get to the top of the hill from the school, there's a billboard. K-12 stuck a great big sign there that basically said, don't send your kids to this nasty place, enroll them in our virtual school. Clay County lost $300,000 about last year to virtual school. Clay County is in the middle of something that you all went through several years ago with the consolidation and things. They can't afford to lose that $300,000, and they have since looked at their virtual school policy and said, maybe we do include these kids in the virtual offering. I feel like it's the best option that you can find, because you still got a teacher that's still making relationships with kids and parents. It's a certified teacher. We've had several mandatory reporting incidents. There was somebody there. You look at the homeschool child that passed away in Boone County last year. Hadn't laid eyes on this child for some time. Our kids in a virtual school, there's somebody that's looking at them every day. If there's an issue, our teachers reach out and say, hey, little Johnny in first grade was in class and we heard this in the background and there might be something going on, you might want to do a welfare check. So there's a lot of checks and balances for these young kids in place, not to mention the quality of instruction that they get. So my first ask is please look at your virtual policy, your K through 3. You're losing a lot of money. That money is going to continue to go up. Hope Scholarship, it seems to be something that everybody in Charleston is in love with. There's a huge increase of money that's potentially going into that. And if there's a lot of money going into a system, they're expecting usage. And where are the kids coming from? Because they're not getting bussed in here from other states. They're your kids that are leaving. Now, on to policies and procedures. And like I said, I'm not going to talk a lot about this. I had a little presentation that I put together, but it's my understanding that next week you are going to hear more about this. If you'll remember, about a year and a half ago, Dr. Howard O'Call and I were here and talked about policies and procedures. Since that time, we have created a document that a lot of people who are in high places have seen this and are very happy with what they've seen. And there are two parts to the policies and procedures. The first part's the means policy, which is Howard O. Call's philosophy of education for the last 40-some years that he's been involved. And we had a couple people scoff at the means policy when we first brought it up, because it comes about, if you read it, it's about ruling with educational leadership. And I'll give you an example of how the means policy works as opposed to the regular policy. So you got the means policy here, which is philosophy, but can also be a policy. Then you have the means policy, or the regular policies, which you all deal with all the time. Your black and white policies that say you shall, we will, the end. So there's county where a kid is high flyer, like a high flyer. Kid's 4.0 student. If they have valedictorians in middle school, kid's going to be in valedictorian, junior honor society. And his mother is a very doting mother. So this kid decides he wants to go and he wants a steak. So his mom goes to the grocery store and can buy a New York strip for him. And she makes this kid New York strip. And she packs his lunch that morning while he's getting ready. And she puts in his steak. And she puts in his fork. And she puts in a steak knife so that the kid can cut the steak. Kid has no idea that it's in there. None whatsoever. Goes to school, opens up his lunchbox, pulls out his steak, pulls out his fork. Oh, what's that? And starts throwing stuff back inside of his lunchbox so he could zip it up and let his steak go by because he was afraid somebody's going to see that knife. And 2 kids saw that knife, and they reported. Well, policies are so black and white with this type of thing, the county board could only do one thing. So now you've got this kid who's a 4.0 kid, junior honor society, has never been in trouble for anything, high flyer, and now on his permanent record, what did he do? He brought a knife to school. If you go by the means policy that Howard O. Call put together, because of instructional leadership, that kid wouldn't necessarily have to be kicked out because of the circumstances around it. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot more about this because, like I said, you're going to hear a lot more about it next week. I know that there are people in the legislature who have seen this document and feel like this is the way for schools to govern under the theme of instructional leadership. You all have seen, most of you have seen the document. We brought it here a year ago and we showed it. It has been fine-tuned, and we do have a system where we're going to house this. Now, a lot of times counties are using board docs and other types of things. Well, what we've decided to do on this is every county has OneDrive. The State Department purchases it, passes it off, you've got OneDrive. So we're housing this inside of OneDrive. Won't cost you any additional funds throughout the year to deal with a third-party vendor because everything's on one. It's searchable by keyword. And if you have somebody sitting inside of the county who is able to take care of your policies, they can go in and make changes to the policies. And then it's trackable. Why? Because they got to be logged into one to get into the file, and you've got a timestamp of who was in there and when they were in there. The other thing you can do is there's hyperlinks, in which we're going back to the means policy. The means policy is governed by 3 things: instructional leadership, policies that the State Board of Education says you have to have, and policies that the legislature says you have to have. Other than that, it allows the superintendent and the board to come up with creative solutions on things that you're not nailed down to by either state code, or legislature, or the State Department. And you're able to go in, make changes, you're able to make decisions based on situations as opposed to little Johnny now has on his permanent record that he brought a knife to school because mom was absent-minded because she was cooking a steak at 6 o'clock in the morning. And now little Johnny's got on his report for the rest of his time that he brought a knife to school and was suspended. The system allows for, like I said, people to make changes. If you don't want changes, the SCSC will be able to make changes for you. And I'm not going to get into pricing or anything. Just know you're part of the SCSC, you're a voting 12-member county, and you're paying pennies on the dollar compared to anything else that you're purchasing. Now, other counties outside of the SCSC voting 12 are going to pay an increased cost. But the great thing about that is they're going to pay less per year than they're paying for maintenance fees per year right now through other vendors that they use. This is a 100% West Virginia product. Nothing on this product, actually I'll go one step further. Nothing in this product was created by anybody south of Kanawha County. Everybody that's had their hands on this thing, whether it be Mercer County, Fayette County, it's all been done with our 12 voting members in mind. However, it is something that all 55 counties can use, and I'm already getting interest from other counties outside of the SCSC. Whenever Dr. O'Call brought this to me, I was like, let's see what you can come up with. He's a brilliant man, and I'm thinking, let's see what you can come up with. So he comes up with the product, and I wasn't quite sure what to think about it, and I heard a little bit of this side and heard a little bit of this side, and then it starts getting to decision makers in Charleston, and they see it, and they're sold on it. So those are the two things that Superintendent Warville asked me to talk about today. We can talk more about the policies and procedures. Actually, Coach Ray will talk about it September 17th. We're going to do another update at the SCSC Council meeting. But one of my biggest asks that I'm here today for is to ask for you all to look at your virtual school policy and please consider allowing these K through 3 kids that you're not allowing into virtual programs now, let them in, because the $500,000, it's just going to keep going up with the more money and the more attention that the Hope Scholarship gets. It seems like every year there's more money put into it. It brings more articles in the paper. It piques more interest from people at home. And I don't know why in the world anybody would want to put their kid into one of those programs whenever they've got our program. And the thing is they're still your student. So you get X number of dollars state aid for each student. We charge you $19.50 a kid for a full year with all the classes that they need to be on course for graduation. And like I said, we were able to convince the State Department this year, let's go ahead and open up our directives for the K-3. Yeah, you can do it, but please use a synchronous program, which we are. So that's it in my presentation. If you got any
Any
questions.
questions? Mr. Gray, any question?
He's not around.
We just lost them.
Who will lose, both of them?
We
Ms.
lost
Whitlock?
Mr.
You created a big problem here now.
Oh, she's here. She's
I'm
here.
tired of hearing you, they hung up.
Mrs. Whitlock said she's here. We're getting Mr. Gray.
It's my understanding on Saturday, there's a couple presentations maybe that, so I'll be there on Saturday. Now, listen, it means enough to me to be there, and there's, besides God and my family, there's only one thing that I love just as much, and that's college
I'll
football.
put you on my.
And I'm going to sit out college football, so I am at the School Board Association on Saturday. It's because when this is talked about, I want to be able to say, what they just said, I've got it right here. Anybody's interested, come see me.
Mr. Butcher, one thing I do like to ask is that when we start keeping credit on students, even 9 through 12, some 8th graders, where are their credits housed? In their home school?
In their home school, yes.
So they're still a student. Say a
Yep.
student at Oak Hill is on your virtual school,
Well,
8th grade?
okay, so they would just be a Fayette County student, and it's Roberta, right, that takes care, so all the information goes to Roberta, and she's got it housed and
Is
she
it
puts
not even
information in
high-
Weavis.
She has it through Weavis. She takes care of all
So we
that.
have one at high school just for, I mean,
Well, she takes care of the county.
I got you.
Yep.
So when they do graduate with enough credits,
Then they're a
they
Fayette County
receive a
graduate.
The-
diploma
Whatever,
from what school?
well, it depends on which school they choose. Is it Oak Hill, or is it Midland Trail, or is it Meadow Bridge, depending on what area they're in.
Okay.
They're a Fayette County student.
And I would love to be able to give you all numbers and show you all our scores and stuff, but they're not ours. They're yours.
Yeah. I tell you, I've been involved quite a bit with what Mr. Butcher was talking about, and along with what Mr. Hubbard at the time, but, you know, Mr. Wolford was at Summers County and involved, as you all have created this program, going through it. It's one of the best in the state, I agree with you.
In the US.
And I, for one, and I'll tell you about it, I'm tired of losing our students to programs we have no clue what they're doing with them. And at least this way there's some structure that we're short of. So I hope that we have parents, as we move this direction, will definitely listen.
Yeah, well, you know, and just for some reading, you might want to go look and see the results from Maryland and their virtual charter options.
Any other questions? Mr. Butcher, thanks for taking your evening off to come see us.
Oh, hey, I'm glad to see you, Coach
See you in
Ray, and
September.
everybody else. It's good seeing you again.
All
Good
right,
seeing
bro.
you.
Okay.
If y'all have any questions, Mr. Warple knows how to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I'll see you all next Saturday, and maybe we can watch college football on our phones. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Butcher. Okay, let's move on with our agenda. At this time, we'll move into our 2000 series. We have 2024 through 2036. I think I'm correct on that?
So moved.
What is it?
Cindy did. She said so moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Whitlock, second by Mr. Broom. Any questions? I gotta be careful, I'm in a different position now, and I got all kinds of questions.
Now you know how it feels.
Any questions? Mr. Gray?
I was just gonna tell you, he dropped off again. I don't know what's going on.
Ms. Whitlock, any questions?
Want to try calling him?
I'd like to make one comment.
Ms.
on,
Chris?
2029, I know for the school buses being used for Bridge Day, I know that was something that was up in the air. I'm glad to see we're back able to
Yeah.
help shuttle folks to Bridge Day, so that was great to see there.
Well, I gotta give Mr. Harper credit and Mr. Hoag and a few other people I'm not mentioning, but we had a little snafu there with the state about having to use charter buses, but now we got that all hammered out. Now we can use school buses. So that's all been taken care of, but there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work there to make it happen. Mr. Harper and his team need to be credited for that.
Wonderful.
Can we give Mr. Gray back?
Hey Siri, call Mr. Gray.
I don't see a Mr. Gray in your
Of course.
contacts.
Ms. Whitlock, do you have any
Siri, call
questions?
Pat Gray.
No, I just wanted to say Becky and the Chamber of Commerce much appreciated the work, and New River Health has moved has decided because they're open on Saturdays
Okay, gotcha,
that they
online.
can't allow the buses to park there for shuttles, and so Oak Hill High School, which is on the agenda, also will be a shuttle location for
Good.
Bridge Day if we approve it.
That's good. Anybody else have any questions? Well, I apologize, I have a couple. More than a couple, I won't ask them all. On policy 2025, for the waiver, who would have that? Is that Mr.? Okay.
We got three of us here, so you want one of the ladies to answer that?
Well, down under 7.11.2, purchases costing 5,000 or more, or less than 10. Competitive bids are required. A minimum of 3 verbal quotes. I mean, they don't have to, it's not in writing?
This is what is currently $8,200 for the
Right.
state. What they're doing, what this whole policy does, the State Board of Education has granted a waiver to that policy because the feds have increased their limits to $10,000 instead of $5,000 for verbal bids. So that's all this policy is doing, is allowing us to implement, we've got a waiver to the state authority, but we didn't have a waiver to our own policy.
I see Tim looking around, and I know he handles a lot of the bids and stuff.
He appreciates this.
As far as the verbal bid, does that make it tough, Tim, or you just write them down, or what?
Makes it easier.
It actually, it makes it easier because you don't have to have written bids unless you're over $10,000.
This does make the process go quicker.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have 3 bids.
If y'all happy, I'm happy.
He just documents it,
Yeah.
as he's getting, calling around and
As I,
get some quotes.
as I get the information, I write it down.
Coach, the water line used to be 5, now because
Yeah.
of cost of living and all the
Well, I
prices.
saw that.
Now it's 10,
I just wondered about the verbal, I didn't know we could take this
Yeah.
verbal bid if I had it right.
yeah.
So if y'all, it's working, it's working.
Yep.
Policy, 2026, the next one, substance abuse, on page 1 of 4.
Yep.
I assume that alcohol is now classified as a drug.
Well,
Yes,
it is,
Always
yes.
has been.
Right,
It
it's,
always has been with 4373.
Has it?
yes.
it is.
So when we discipline,
Yes,
if someone bringing drugs with them, it's pretty serious.
Yes, sir, it is.
Alcohol is the same,
Yes, sir.
so
And
there's no black and white.
No, sir, and we've brought alcohol to you in the past year. So
It is the same. Page 2 of 4, H. It says include a clear statement that disciplinary sanctions up to and including expulsion and referral for prosecution. What does it mean, clear statement? That means what you, when a principal sits down and writes a statement of what occurred?
It's the due process form. You must have the due process form. And of course, since it's a level 3 or 4, you must contact law enforcement, which is reflected in 4373.
So
So
you-
this policy is just coinciding and helping 4373.
So when you say clear, just referring that
Yes, sir.
it's got to be clear of what's occurred,
Process.
because it could be prosecuted.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Page 3 of 4. And I think we've talked about this before, but mine's something back, I'll go back 2 years sometimes. Provide health education. Does that mean that what we have here in this mandatory annual education of public school students, 6 through 12,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
is taught by the health teacher?
Yes, it is.
And do they have a curriculum that we provide them to teach from?
They have standards. Yes, they do. We have curriculum and standards for this specific item.
And if students in 11th grade, they're not taking physical education probably, but they have to be in a health class for how long?
They don't have to be in health in that year. Often we'll supplement it in a social studies class because they have to have the social studies classes each year.
So the curriculum you're teaching them or discussing,
The standards can be implemented.
for how long? I mean, how long does it take to present that?
There are not very many standards with us at all, so it's not very, it's very
And
few.
you reference a social studies class.
Yes.
Does the social studies teacher teach it? Or does the
They
health
will
teacher
be.
come in?
With this policy, we'll make sure that they have those standards.
So they can teach that?
Yes, sir.
But the initial one's taught by the health teacher
That's
in the
right.
9th grade, you know, speaking.
Yes.
Is it no longer, is it more in-depth or the same thing?
It's a little more in-depth because they have more time to devote just to that in that course.
That's very important, I think,
Yes, it is.
that this be, addressed very clearly with our students.
And it's also with our staff as well. We also
Sure,
have
I got you.
Staff training with it as well.
The next one, on anti-harassment and violence.
Yes.
page 2 of 12, that's a big policy, 12 pages. I come from old school, my problem, different sometimes, but what's the difference between bullying and harassment?
That's a great question. So bullying, let me go back to harassment. Harassment is when it happens one time. It's the precursor to bullying. So you have a harassment issue where one child bothers another. When it's pervasive and can be traced, it becomes bullying. And those terms are very interchangeable,
Yeah.
but they're not interchangeable subject areas.
Miss,
Yes, sir.
Miss Dawn,
Yes.
I'd ask this question, but I'm gonna answer it. When I was administrator, 9 out of 10 parents, and I imagine 9 out of 10 parents right now, cannot tell you what bullying is.
I agree.
It's hard.
Now, they'll come in your office when their son or daughter or somebody gets smacked, hit, or beat up, and said, they're bullying my child. No, ma'am. Your child just got physically abused, that's all. Or harassed, but that's not bullying. Bullying is more than once.
Documented.
Yes.
And the exact same behavior. So when we have student discipline hearings, often the parents will come in and say, my child's being bullied.
It's the flavor of the day.
Yes, sir, but at that time,
And
we
they're doing commercials
explained
about it.
that,
So
no,
they
it's
grab
not
it.
bullying,
Yeah.
it's harassment. It could be intimidation, because we only have one instance. And that's why it's so important for us to look at a student's discipline record over time with the parent, to prove to them there's not an incident of bullying documented.
Right.
But if I'm hearing this right, then maybe we need to do a better job of educating people on that. Because bullying is an imbalance of power repeated over a period of time. So what we have to do is try to give a better definition so people know. But regardless, if you're picking one day or you're picking all the time, it just needs to stop. And we need to intervene, you know.
And you know, Mr. Warfel, I agree with you, but I don't know how much effect you'd have even if you educated them, because society has created that stigma that if somebody put their hands on my child, it is called bullying. And you're not gonna be, because every time you turn on that TV, the commercial after commercial, commercial after commercial, advertising, it's bullying. And if you look at some of the court cases, people sue school systems, teachers, and they call it bullying, and the lawyers even get in there and they'll battle you that it's bullying, when you look at them and you say, you were a guy that went to school for I don't know how many years to become a lawyer, and you don't know what bullying is?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think they want to be educated, to be honest with you, especially when it comes to their child.
I read this, I feel for our schools, our staff here, to try to explain the difference in what we have. They are all the same. Right here, you know, a threat, bullying, well, that's harassment. Make a threat too. What kind of threat was it? So all this is just difficult. And I think it's going to be tough to get parents understand. They're going to use the word that best fits their scenario sometimes.
Thank you.
And I understand that. They want to get a point across.
That's right.
Anyway, your explanation,
Thank you, Don.
You're
very
welcome.
good.
But Mr. Warvel's correct. We don't do enough to educate the difference in those. And that's something that we really need to do, because we have such a social media presence.
But we can work on that. That's
Yeah.
a good goal for us to do, because
It is.
ultimately we want to educate, not incarcerate. That's my philosophy. I want to educate people. I don't want to go down penalizing everybody, because that's our job, is to educate people.
One last question, I promise. Listen here.
You have unlimited, Coach.
5 to 12.
Of the same policy?
Yeah, the same policy, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's all right.
Anti-harassment compliance officers. We had Denise listed.
Yep.
So what's Denise's job?
Well, since she's HR, basically human resource director, I don't know if that's why it was that way. How many years ago was this, when it was first started? I gotta go back to
I was
look
gonna say,
at
if
the
that's her
beginning.
job, she won't have time to do any
2022.
personnel.
Did you know that?
probably of time.
Yeah, I'm just having fun with you because if we need to change that, this goes out for, what
I'm
we
not sure we
say.
can change that, that's the question.
This is our first reading, Coach, so, we got 20 days and then the second reading
But
coming.
do we utilize our officers to work with this also?
We have more
In
Title
school?
IX. More Title IX is what we have
Yes.
than this. We have not had any.
I think we gotta be careful not to have an employee that has a big task, we're going through it a little bit, the personnel get drugged down to someone blaming her, a parent, of not doing what they ask under anti-bullying, she's the administrator. I think we gotta be, just take a look at it, make sure it doesn't overwhelm any of our employees that we have doing stuff right now. Is it basically just her working with the officers or working with the principals? I think it needs to be looked at before we throw a name in there.
You could cross out a name and you could put in there, I'm just saying this just because he's our Title IX now, Matt Harper, not his name, but you could put secondary director or,
I think, does law request you have a name?
well, I don't know. That's the question of the day. So I will check out that and see if we could, sometimes being a little, I don't want to say nebulous because that sounds like we don't care, but sometimes if you put a specific name and they're not in that seat, then really you're not following policy, you know what I'm saying?
So that's gonna be the responsibility of the title,
It would fit more
Title
into a
IX
Title IX to me because that person deals enough already with the due process of a Title IX where you give mitigation strategies if there's a problem. If it is repeated, you want to make sure both parties are comfortable going to school because at the end of the day, we have to educate everyone, so we can look into that.
And they also deal with discipline, which this would harassment,
Yeah.
harassment would.
I think I have a better definition of what that person's responsibility is.
Give me one of your stickies.
Pardon?
Give me a sticky.
I can't share the cost.
Yeah, you've asked enough questions. I get one
Mrs.
sticky.
Whitlock has a question.
Ms. Whitlock,
Yes,
you
Hang
have
on.
a question?
hang on, I do. Yes, I do. The Project Aware contract, I just want to make sure the board realizes that ends September of this school year, so 2026. And the question I have is, how many of these 3 people are on staff right now?
Which one's that, Ms. Whitlock?
I gotta read.
Project Aware.
2031, I think.
I thought it was just one, wasn't it?
That's one Project Aware.
Just one. Did you hear that, Miss Whitlock? One?
I did.
Okay.
So here's, so I can talk about this now because I'm no longer employed for New River Health, with New River Health. My question is, what is my question? That I would just like to see the board keep on top of this, and make sure that these folks are employed as soon as possible. We've lost some really good Project Aware folks because they weren't sure how much longer they could be employed, and they went ahead and took other positions in other locations, and I don't blame them for that as a board member. But these are critical positions that could be retained after the contract. So just be aware and keep after this, but make sure that these other 2 positions are filled. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock.
And Ms. Chuka, we had a meeting about this the other day with our social workers and then our counselors. That was in the same day, half for the morning, the other half for the afternoon. And Ms. Chuka is looking, and we're trying to find out if there's other grants available as we move forward to help cover those costs. So we're on top of about as much as we can, but we would take any help we can if anybody sees any grants that are out there for us to try to go after.
Well, and the other thing, of course, is to fill the positions as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Don't let that linger. Don't let
Good
that
point. Good
that
point.
go. Don't let that go. Keep on asking daily or weekly, have we got these positions filled yet?
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Mr. Gray, anything else come up on your questions?
Yeah, nothing.
We still have it?
Yeah, I hear
I
him.
can hear you, but.
Hold on, Mr. Gray. Let me put you on speaker because I didn't know if you wanted to be heard just yet. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, nothing at this time, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Hey, that worked out well.
I do have one further question, I apologize. On 2033, on the Edwards Educational Services,
Yes.
Um, I know we've had him for some time.
Yes, sir, we have.
Has there been a good evaluation of his service?
So there has been, and we have more principals requesting that he serve their schools. We have him working with our Aspiring Leader program. And the participants that have come out of that program are head and shoulders above others when we go to pick leadership positions in the county. So he's really helping us grow our own. So the people that we are hiring have gone through our process, and Dr. Edwards has helped them achieve that status. And it's really been beneficial for us to have him. He also works with us with master teachers, which is another real innovative program that Fayette County Schools do that other schools don't. And again, he also consults with schools, with the principals, with the, he's really moving into helping a lot with the collaborative, with the Empowerment Collaborative as well, and supporting schools with that.
You know, I know we've had him for some time.
We have.
And it'd be nice, and I'll speak for myself, maybe those that use him, do a survey of them or some type of a
Evaluation.
response, how well they work with him. And I mean, I'm not sure, you know, I don't like, you know, anonymous, but maybe your principals, just have them to do it some way that we can get a true picture of what Mr. Edwards' service is providing us.
Oh, that, we can certainly do that. The
That's just one
principals-
request, that's me only.
Sounds, no, we'll be happy to do that, because the principals are very fond of Dr. Edwards, and
Good.
they ask for more days with him as a, you know, a support for their schools, their leadership teams, and their curriculum teams.
Does he have liaisons with our principals?
No, it's just him. And he does private calls in addition. So I know that he talked to Melissa Hara today for 2 hours, you know, on just a pro
We'll
bono.
phone that long.
That's, yes, they do, and they speak often. He also speaks, I know, frequently with Richard Pettit, with Stacy White, and with Amy McDonald. So he does speak with a lot of them frequently.
Okay, I lied to you, I said I had no more questions. Anybody else before we vote?
Duly noted.
Hearing none, all is in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
I apologize, I didn't give you time to vote. Okay, 5-0 in favor. Consent calendar, we have one request. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Groom, motion. Mr. Chris, second. Any questions? Ms. Whitlock, Mr. Gray, any questions?
No questions here, Coach.
No, sir.
Hearing none, vote to motions. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Moving to finance, 4,000. We have two, 4,006, 4,007. Need a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay,
Senator
Mr. Gray,
Whitlock.
Ms. Whitlock, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. My hearing aids are on, but the right side not very good. And who gave me a second over here, Ms. Chris?
I'll be your second. I'll be your
Thank you.
second.
Ms. Paul, anything to update us on?
Well,
No, sir.
Josh, you were the first.
Any questions?
Josh,
Josh got it first,
he did.
and then, Ms. Whitlock, okay,
It's
got
in
you.
surround sound, I know.
I was gonna say, gotta remember I'm wearing hearing aids sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, no questions, vote to motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Passed. 5-0. Now. Let me get my page turned here. We're in the personnel. 5,040 through 5,052. That's a lot of typing? Somebody. Entertain a
So
motion.
moved.
Who's that, Ms. Whitlock?
That was Miss Whitlock, yep.
Second.
Second, Mr. Groom. Questions? Ms. Whitlock, questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Gray?
Yep, no questions from me, Coach.
One question for me. On 50043, and same thing for service, 3-step salary increase, professional certified special education, teaching special education full-time. Do we have to prove these people every year?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Whose idea was that?
State.
Oh, okay.
Was that a rhetorical question?
I made no comment.
Okay.
I'm behaving tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Gray, I miss you, buddy.
You heard that, Mr. Gray, didn't you?
I did.
We're gonna
I
put that in the
did.
notes. Amy's got that. He's gonna behave.
Any further questions?
So we got sub-aides down at Valley for those aides that resigned.
What was that, Mr. Gray?
I mean, we have aides on the list, but no one's.
Taking those positions.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I didn't hear that, Coach, but I believe the question was, were those aides for the split 5-6?
Down at Valley.
He was asking where, and it was down at the Valley, Mr. Gray, if that's what you're asking
Okay.
about.
Well, I just was wondering if it was for the split grades that don't already have aides.
No, sir, that
Two
wasn't.
autism aides.
It was 2 autism aides down in the Valley.
Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Hearing none, vote to motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. 5-0 approved. Okay. Now we get into fun things. We're in the points of personal privilege. And that's our 6,000 series. So I'm going to start with Mr. Christ this time.
All right, I'm up first today. Start with our achievement. Again, really moved by the progress that we made last year, 24, 25, and we got a lot of momentum going into this school year, so I'll look forward to that. We'll do a deep dive tomorrow with the Achievement Committee. I'm sorry, Thursday, with the Achievement Committee. It does feel like Wednesday, but I'll be excited to go into the deep dive and continuing to look at our success from last year and the growth that we made. With the Fayette County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, talked about a few things during the August the 13th meeting. So the 2026 prices to rent are not raising at this time, but they may increase for weddings. Talked a little bit about an engineering firm for the Fayette County Park trails to be chosen to build the trails, approximately 6 to 7 miles worth. There's a pond pump that looks like it had malfunctioned, so they were gonna be ordering another pump, approximately $400. Camp SOAR was a huge success this past year, so we talked about that and how to make it even better, next year. So we had there's a fall festival tentatively for October the 4th, 2025. So still talking about details of that. My wife's going to get mad at me because I always tell her that Christmas is just right around the corner, but we did talk about Christmas lights. December 1st will be the opening day for those. So Santa will be there Friday and Saturday, and then the Grinch will be there on Sundays. And then a potential haunted house coming. So a lot of interesting things coming to the park. It'd be interesting and fun to see those coming up. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Mr. Groom?
West Virginia U Extension Services, they did our Energy Express this year, and they did an excellent job. They had between 40 and 50 students that participated in that program, and I had the opportunity to go over and spend some time with them, and they really, some of the things I saw, I was very pleased, very happy with. And I think most of the board members have received emails from another entity that's interested in that service, and that's something that we'll have to address at another time. I won't call any names, but we'll have to address that. The 4-H camp was very successful, did a good job. The extension people, they work with us real well. Right now, at this particular time, JR is putting his schedule together for where they go into the schools and do a lot of different things. This Friday, they'll be starting their reading to the 3rd graders, and he'll be visiting every school. But what they're trying to do is give the teachers time to get started and get their feet, so to speak. And then they'll go into the upper classes to help and assist in those areas. This past week, I believe it was last week, we had a situation down at Valley, and I think that staff and those administrators and the people down there did an excellent job of addressing it and the way they handled it, the way they shut it. They did a good job. And I'm hoping that we don't have any more, but you never know in this day and age. But they did a really excellent job. I went over, I did not try to go in or anything, but I just kind of kept my pace just to observe and to make sure that everything was handled. And I commended them for doing an excellent job. I will say one more thing about safety. We know that our legislature is talking about this policy to remove kids from the classroom. And we know that if this policy, we're going to have to look at, maybe some other alternative things as far as dealing with those kids when they're removed. So that's something we, maybe in a workshop or something we can discuss further. And also the fact of some more talk has been done about arming teachers, administrators, and even hiring some ex-policemen, ex-soldiers, whatever, for weapons in the school. That's something that concerns me. I'm worried about it. I know if we were to ask right now, there are probably a lot of teachers who already carry guns. They got this carry law, and they probably carry them. So you'll probably have people who want to carry a gun. I would hate to see anybody other than policemen or resources, people with guns in our schools. But again, it's something we're going to probably have to look at later on. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Groom. Ms. Whitlock?
Yes, sir, I'm on vacation.
Good for you.
So I have not, how about that? Anyway, I had, the FRN meeting was today. I did not attend that, and today was prevention, Thursday is the FRN meeting. And I think I told you at the last meeting, the FRN had hired a Oak Hill High School teacher to take on the responsibility of teen court. So that will be how teen court changes in the future. And then I told you some of the challenges that we were facing with that. And then I just mentioned to you my concerns about Project Aware and how we can get good folks. The ones we had were unicorns in those positions. And I hope we can keep that level of quality and passion up in those positions. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock, and enjoy your vacation. Mr. Gray?
Thank you.
Coach, as you guys are aware, I covered a lot of climate and culture results on our work session on Wednesday. We do have a meeting this Friday. We had to kind of move it around. Our originally scheduled meeting was the first day of school. We thought, wow, we're not sure how we did that, but so we had to move it. So it'll take place this Friday. So I really don't have any new updates that I haven't already provided.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. And on my report, extracurricular, Mr. Warble and I have not had the opportunity to meet with our group yet. It's been a busy start to the year, and that had to be taken care of first. So as we move into September, I'll try to get Mr. Warble, we'll set some time, and you have the list of our individuals, I believe, don't you?
Yeah.
So we're good there, and we'll get that meeting set up. Extracurricular refers to a lot of things when it comes to our schools. If you've been around our campuses here lately, whether it be in the afternoon or in the evening, see a lot of activity going on. We have kids involved in our county, and to see the facilities, whether it be the building or an outdoor facility that we're providing our students, just makes me feel so good. I think they can be proud, and they show it when they get involved. And so, and I tell you, you got to have kids involved, and I think that's a big thing. At ESC, we had a presentation tonight. We haven't met for some time. Mr. Butcher indicated we'll meet September 17th, and hopefully next time I have to present, I'll have something then. But, I know that our board, I don't want to speak for anybody personally, but I think we all are very happy about what we see starting this year. And to see Ms. Dooley sharing test scores and stuff with us. I mean, our county is moving in a good direction. It's our job to work with our group, our leaders out here, to make sure that continues. So thank you all for all you've done for our kids in Fayette County. I saw again, I done lost the name, got me so excited. Help me out. 10. Goodness, what's wrong with me? I tell you, a lot of hard work, Tim, that we've seen in this county. And we have a lot of thanking to you for keeping your people moving. I haven't heard any complaint about facilities. That's big. And so thank you all, everybody, thank you all. Good job. Sorry about forgetting your name, Tim. I've known Tim for years.
I did it too, Pat.
Coach Ray, if I could, I'd like to commend the extracurricular committee. I've heard so many positive comments. I think there might have been a news article just outlining the decision to allow active service military and veterans into our ball games free of admission or free of charge. And
Senior citizens.
I've heard great comments. I think it was a great thing for our county, and we appreciate our veterans.
And that recommendation came from that committee, approved this board. So, Mr. Worrell, like you said, we have a good committee. I think you've met a few of them, of course, most of them.
Yep.
And appreciate that. I think and we'll share that with the committee when we do get together.
And that might have been on the news tonight, because I've volunteered Mr.
That's
Pettit.
us.
He can take care of that. He needs to be on the news. And we wanted to highlight that again, because that's such a positive in the community. And we know what's coming this Friday. Everybody's ready for week 1 of football. It seems like everybody's getting worked
I
up.
saw Mr. Pettit on TV.
Yeah.
They made him look pretty good.
He wore a suit, he wore a jacket and a tie, didn't he? He looked good, yeah.
I think his wife dressed him up.
They call that movie magic, right?
Movie magic.
All righty. Moving to 7,000 series. Do I pass that? No. Superintendent's report.
I'll make this quick, because I know we got to talk about something.
Nothing's ever quick.
6:30 sharp. Miss Hayes says you all got to be at that football field 6:30 sharp, because they're going to do the same format as what you all did with the Midland Trail naming of a football field. It's going to be the same type of format, identical to that for naming the football field. The family knows, they're ready to
Yeah,
go.
I've talked to 'em.
I know they're excited because I have a neighbor called Coach Spangler, and he knows about it. So he told me he's already talked to the other coach, and I said, well, it's gotten out there. If Coach Spangler knows, I know it's out there. But on a serious note, we're excited to do that this Friday night, 6:30 sharp. Last evening, Mr. Chris, Mr. Harper, Ms. Hetrick, and myself attended team court. It was really interesting. I know Ms. Whitlock just brought that up. it is exciting to have a teacher in the school system lead that, and we have some great kids that are in that. And so we asked those kids if they could come to the second meeting in September to talk about and update the board with a presentation from the kids' point of view on what is teen court. And I would love for you guys to ask questions and have a dialogue. I think you'll be pretty impressed with the conversations they have and how important it is to them to have teen court. So we're going to arrange that for the second board meeting to have the kids do a presentation for you all, okay?
Very good.
And then April 6th, is there a question, Mr. Gray?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Mr. Superintendent, how do we envision change with our good friend from the courthouse being moved to the Supreme Court of Appeals? He has been, and that's Judge Ewing,
Yeah.
and he has been certainly a mover and shaker for that. So what do we think that looks like? Who's going to come in and from the courthouse to help support us with that?
That one's kind of to be determined, but Ms. Hetrick has been working. I don't know if she has an answer, but I will say, politically speaking right now, in a public forum, applied pressure in a nice way to make sure things work. Because we do have some ideas, and we do have some kids with some great ideas last night, hearing them talk. Our future is bright. We have some great kids. You saw it tonight with the recognition. If you were there last night, yeah, we had Chick-fil-A, I'll be honest, but they did a really good job of impressing us with caring about their community in which they live in, so that's pretty good.
I will say
But
to
Ms.
answer-
Hetrick might have an answer for you.
Also,
on
to
that.
answer Mr. Gray, before you say, Ms. Hedrick, I think we have a Supreme Court justice, the highest in West Virginia, that loves this program.
Influencer.
I don't think a judge, and I hope they don't want to disappoint him. So maybe a little bit of encouragement from our Supreme Court justice will help a lot too.
Yes, so currently, my understanding is that Judge Kirkpatrick, he is a retired judge from Raleigh County, is the sitting judge right now until the appointment.
In Fayette County?
Yes, sir, he's from Raleigh County, but he
I know,
is
yeah.
in the seat that Judge Ewing is in before going to the Supreme Court. And Judge Kirkpatrick is a very, very nice man, and he does support community involvement. He supports public school, and I don't want to speak for him because that would be very wrong of me to do. But with his support for public school, I cannot see him not supporting this particular.
I'd agree. I'd agree.
So let's just hope that, that hopefully the person that is appointed has the same views and cares and concerns that our board does and has presented.
It's a good program.
Yeah. Did that help answer your question in a nice way, Mr. Gray?
It did, yes.
Okay. Good job. Thanks, Ms. Hetrick. And Mr., I appreciate we can ask questions of you, and you had a good answer for us
I
tonight.
don't have answers on time. I think I'll make them up.
Well, well, I'm going to move on to my next one. I know this seems far out, but April 16th is going to be our SAT day. That's where the juniors come in and they take that test. And what we do remotely is have grades 9, 10, and 12 get their education remotely so we can focus on those kids in 11th grade and give them the best environment possible, because it does have some money tied to that test, and we want to give them that opportunity. So just, I know that's way out, but just giving you kind of heads up, because sometimes things get going and you're like, we'll give you a reminder, but those things are pretty important to us as we move forward and we talk about testing as we move forward.
Right.
Mr. Vice President, I don't have anything else unless you have a question or two.
Anybody have a question for Superintendent? Hearing none, thank you, Mr.
No, sir.
All right.
Mr. Gray, you have a question?
Yep, no questions. Thank you.
Hearing none, move on to legal. I think we do have a ratification tonight.
Correct.
So in accordance with 6-9A-4, 2A, and 6-9-4-3 of school laws of West Virginia, the governing body of a public agency may hold an executive session for discussion of employee discipline and for student discipline hearings. Do I have a motion to go executive session?